Today we're going to look at an old favourite of mine. We're going to look at AT&T and its recent 5-year deal with the mobile company that everyone seems to have forgotten about, Nokia. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content, because there'll be plenty more like this to come and you won't miss out on any future uploads in the future. And if you're enjoying the content, then give it a little like as well. Wait until you've seen the whole video and then give it a like if you genuinely do like the content. Now, we're in a bit of a different setup today and it may be a bit echoey, but I'll quickly explain. I've just moved house, which is why I've not had a video out to you guys for a week or so, because I've been very busy. This may not even come out. This may not come out for a while. I haven't got any Wi-Fi at the moment. I'm hotspotted off my phone. Everything's just a bit up in the air. I don't have everything sorted yet. It's a house, not a flat. So this is my new study. So this is where all the videos will be created, all the content will be created, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how I'm going to have it. I've got some ideas on how I'm going to be decorating it, but things will change over time as you watch these videos, if of course you watch them and you're keeping up to date with them. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to get into the computer, have a look at AT&T, which is one of my favorite companies anyway. We're going to look at the recent deal, and we're going to look at an article from an author on Seeking Alpha about its potential upside that is very different to the investing we normally do. He talks a bit more like a trader and talks about moving averages, and that's why he is getting in. So it'll be interesting to see. So we'll get into the computer and we'll take a look. Right, so here we are in the portfolio. As always, complete transparent look at everything going on in the portfolio, but more importantly in this video, let's look at AT&T. We'll look at, certainly with complete transparency, my position in AT&T. So as you can see, I've got 113 shares of AT&T. My average price is 35. So we obviously have not yet recovered fully from the dip back last year, around this time last year. I'm 14.64% down, but I've got a reasonable sized position there, $3,385 as it stands. So that is my position in AT&T at the moment. So these are the couple of bits I want to look at. Now, both articles are Seeking Alpha. One, for me, led on to the other one. And the second article I want to have a look at, I'll quickly explain, is one author's price target on AT&T, what he thinks he can get to, and he's based that solely on price action, moving averages and things like that, which isn't a way investors, I guess, will typically look at levels of buying into or selling out of stocks. We won't generally look at indicators, price action, things like that. It's more, you want to be a part of the company, you think they're going to do great things, so you're going to get in. But it's interesting to incorporate some of that into this as well. So we will have a look at that, and we'll have a look at tip ranks as to where they and the analysts on there are targeting the price for the next 12 months. So that'll be interesting to see, and I've actually not looked at that yet, so we'll open that in this video and we'll have a little look at that as well. So first article is, you may or may not have heard, Nokia. So this is quite interesting because I own some Nokia shares in my high risk portfolio. Signs 5-year deal, C-band deal with AT&T. Nokia signed a 5-year deal with AT&T to deploy the mobile operator's C-band network in parts of the US. AT&T will deploy Nokia C-band portfolio to increase network capacity and to support both indoor and outdoor 5G coverage. AT&T will start deploying the first phase of the C-band spectrum towards the latter part of 2021 as it becomes available. So some good news for AT&T, some good news for Nokia as well. A little partnership there, which is great to roll out the 5G network, and AT&T will be using Nokia inventory facilities and bits and equipment to be doing that. So great little deal that they've signed there. Now, am I expecting this to have a massive impact on the share price? No, not huge impact, certainly. But this article, and I wanted to get that news out there of this deal that's just been agreed upon between Nokia and AT&T, but that led me on to this one here. So here's another article. Let's get to the top of it. So AT&T investors 30% to 100% gains. This article does include things that I don't normally talk about, and I don't do myself, and I don't know enough about it to warrant doing videos on it and to talk about it myself, but we will go through the article nevertheless. So we go straight in with AT&T looks to be heading towards $36 per share. And again, it's based this just on moving averages, and there's not a lot of evidence in this, but I'll go through the article anyway. I think there's a chance to provide investors and traders gains of 30% to 100%. More the traders and more the risk averse investors and traders is the 100% option, and I'll show you why in a second. If not more, depending on how you take advantage of the opportunity. So he's basically going to talk about moving averages. So the 40-week moving average is simply the summation of the closing price of AT&T for the last 40 weeks divided by 40. So it's just an average of the closing price for 40 weeks, and that is $28.99. He incorporates a 10-week moving average, which is the same thing, but only over a 10-week period, which makes it far more volatile and mirrors and tracks price action more closely, I guess. So here it's calculated using closing prices of the last 10 weeks, which is why it's more volatile. So the graph he's got here shows a crossover between the 10 and the 40, obviously around March, April last year for obvious reasons. And then towards the end of the chart here, you can see we've had a crossover the other way. Now the two arrows he's got is the last time in April 2019 we had a 10-week moving average crossing over a 40. We had some serious upside and it got up to 36. What he's essentially suggesting is because that's happened again, the same thing is going to happen, and he's given quite a long target for that to happen as well. Now this is incorporating indicators, moving averages, price action into sort of investing, but I find it quite interesting just to, there's nothing wrong with incorporating some of that into what you're doing, because people make a incredibly good living from it and you can make money from it. It's not just guesswork, it is quite clearly something to go by. It's just something that I wouldn't normally cover off. So he goes on in the article to talk about call options. I'm not a call options trader. I've never done that, and I know a reasonable amount about it, but not enough to create a video on it. So that's not what I want to talk about in this video. The article's on Seeking Alpha, go and check it out if you want, but this is what this section here basically talks about, the call options. The bit I want to get down to is here. So if you're not comfortable in using options, buying shares of AT&T outright still offers excellent total return possibilities. Now, one problem with the call options is you don't receive dividends. If you do buy the shares outright, you do receive the dividends. And there's something else I'll go through in a second. He goes on just to say, by owning shares, you'll receive all those dividends. Secondly, if T takes longer to get to $36 per share than the expiration date of your call options, your shares still have value, and you've still also been receiving the dividends as well. So it goes on to say that if it does get to 36, you've got approximately 20% upside on the appreciation of the shares, which in that time frame, by January 2023, that's what, 2 years, just under 2 years. 20% appreciation in 2 years is 10% a year, just over, because of where we are now in the year. Is that, I mean, it's probably just about market beating. Is it enough? I don't know. You can be the judge of that. I'm not making this video to say this is an incredible option, you're going to make loads of money. It's just to make you aware of it. But we've also got 14% worth of dividends in that time as well, with the 7% yield that they're yielding at the moment. So we have got potential return of 34%, which gives you 17% yearly, just over that, because of where we are in the year so far, which does start to become quite attractive and is market beating. So in summary, I think there is an opportunity to capture nice gains from T, as I believe sentiment has changed in T. So that's interesting. Sentiment has changed and people are starting to buy it. But again, he's basing all this on just sort of price action. I believe it's due to the fact that the 10-week moving average has crossed the 40-week moving average, as shown in chart 1 previously. When that happened back in April, as I've shown you with that arrow, it rallied from 28 to 36. So his target is $36. Let's have a look at tip ranks and see what they say. Moderate buy on tip ranks, 7 hold, 4 buy and 1 sell from the analysts. We've got an average of 31.33. So tip ranks are suggesting only a 4.47% upside. We've got a high of 38, but a low of 24. So the average there is 31.33 cents. Where do I see it myself? I feel we've certainly got to be in the 30s. We're nudging up to that now anyway. We're at 29 something. I certainly can see AT&T getting back up to where it was. We know it's a company capable of that. I think they've got a lot of good things coming. They were hindered a lot by the debt that they had and some bad purchases, as I've been through in other videos. They've got that all in hand. That'll be being paid down quite considerably in the future, and it has already. So they've got that all in hand. I think once people realise that, and it doesn't spook people as much, the debt levels don't spook people as much, I think people will start to realise that AT&T, very attractive dividend, good things coming from it, 5G network coming out, deals being done like this with Nokia. I think it's got good potential. I certainly think if you're an income investor, then it's still a great option with that monster yield, monster dividend, and the consistency in which they've been paying the dividend, and the consistency in which they've been increasing it, I certainly think it's a good option for the long term. I'll be bullish on AT&T for many, many years, as I always have been. I thought I'd just get a video out on the news with the Nokia deal and that article that I stumbled across. I sort of found quite interesting, and hopefully you do too. Well, there we go, guys. Hopefully that was reasonably valuable to you and you got something from that. I thought it was quite interesting, and I thought you might have found it interesting as well. Let me know if you incorporate moving averages or any kind of indicators or price action into your purchasing choices and the reasons you buy, what stocks you buy and when you buy them. It would be really interesting to find that out and learn that from you guys. So let me know in the comments below. But I said, hopefully you got something from that. Let me know if you're an investor in AT&T. I'm sure most of you probably are if you're watching my channels, because I think most of you are dividend investors. So I'm pretty sure that you probably have dabbled in AT&T or maybe Verizon or T-Mobile in the past, because it's a great sector to be involved in. Gives you some coverage in the communications, technology sector and telecom sector. Fantastic dividend paying companies. So let me know in the comments below. But until next time, which I don't know when it's going to be. New setup, new system, don't have Wi-Fi. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get another video out, but I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.